What's up, everybody? We're back with Blood Bowl 3. We're going to be jumping in with the next game on the Elven Union team. We're climbing up in that rank pretty fast. We're up at 750. Now, I don't know if the teams are actually ranked separately by race, or if it's just all of them together. And we're actually against dwarves here. This is probably very annoying matchup for us, as they're going to have a lot of tackle. And we're going to see if our opponent has any level ups here. It doesn't appear like he does. So I think we're going to be throwing a lot of petty cash his way. Now, petty cash is dangerous because it means our opponent can probably grab a wizard.
That's what a star player
And the
looks
wizard
like
would be
He'll need to prove it on
very
the field.
annoying for us to deal
If he
with.
finishes the game with all his teeth, then I'll call him a star player.
Looks like he picked up Mighty Zug, so he has a Mighty Blow piece on his team now. We're going to have to be very, very worried about that. It could cause a lot of damage to our team. Now, we do need to remember that we can't actually use our dodge to its full potential against the dwarf team. And we're most likely going to want to keep our team a little more spread out than we have been in the last couple of games. Now, our opponent only has 2 rerolls. And with Mighty Zug, if you just position yourself in a certain way, he does only have movement 4. So we could ignore him for the majority of the game if possible. Now we just have to wait for our opponent to finish his offensive setup. Now the good thing for us is it looks like our opponent did actually take full positionals. It's only actually the linemen that start with tackle. So in a weird twist of things, our main concern is actually our opponent's linemen and not his positionals. Now, the dwarves are very tanky, so more likely than not, we're not going to be removing any pieces. Mighty Zug is a very, very strong star player, though. Any kind of Mighty Blow access makes our already low armor elves even easier to remove. Not to mention he is a strength 5 piece, so knocking him down is going to be even more of a challenge. Now I am still a little under the weather, so I apologize for any problems with my voice or anything. Now, we do get the solid defense, but I don't think we actually want to move anything, so we're just going to continue there.
You can't argue with that call, can you, Bob?
No.
Now, it looks like our opponent here is just going to get the 3 easy hits on the line elves. Hopefully we don't get too damaged from it. Mighty Zug gets a nice 3 dice, but thankfully doesn't actually hit anything. Oh, that is a cool animation.
Now his buddy can move freely.
Oof. 1 injury. Already down a player. And
I cry for happy. It's
we're just going
music
to
my ears,
accept that he's
the
a
cracking of the
gone.
The groans of pain, the blood.
They've got the advantage, but there is no sure thing in life.
Now, thankfully, with block, we just kind of bounce off our opponent there. Now, the ball's actually all the way in his backfield. So we are more than likely going to just run back there and do as much damage as we can. Especially with all of his dwarves being up in the front here, we should be able to just get into the back and take the ball, I think. Especially if he fails the pickup. So he's going to bring one dwarf back to try to stop us.
They must have glue on their fingers.
Now he does get the pickup. However, we do just have an almost fully open
What a speedster!
line to just wrap around here. And get in our opponent's way. And we'll probably just try to get a couple easy hits here.
There's only one word to say about this, Bob.
Not a word, Jim. A sound. Crunch!
Just get as much space as we can here with our pieces.
Ironside.
We're actually going to be able to free up a lot of our own elves here.
He seems a little stunned, doesn't he?
I think we're in a great position. Our opponent should be able to make like a little cage in the back, but it will cause him to send a lot of his pieces backwards, which is what we want. And we should very easily be able to just get a couple elves onto the ball.
Cabal Vision HD
If that's the
comes
path
with
we
a
want to go.
range of new features. Please see your instruction guide for further details.
Don't be stupid, Jim. Nobody ever reads the instructions.
We could also... Oh. Mighty Blow's going to do some damage to us there. We knew it was coming. Oof, and he rushes a Zug,
Can't
which
argue
puts us
with
in
that
a
call, can you, Bob?
not great spot. Now, first things first, we're going to want to try to bring some pieces over to help. I believe we are going to just stick our blitzer here onto the ball. We can do it fairly easily.
I have a great respect for the durability of dwarves. How about you, Jim?
And we're going to just try to free a couple of elves on this side.
Yeah, dwarves are like
Now
walnuts.
Zug
Jim.
makes this
Easy
a
to
one
stamp
dice,
on,
so instead we're actually
still
going
kinda hard
to
crack the shell.
bring over our dodge piece. And I did forget that he does actually have tackle on that piece, so we can't use our dodge reroll.
Oh dear!
We're just going to
Is
accept
that
it
a
and
good tackle or a bad
get knocked on
dodge?
the floor.
The enemy's close. Will it make a difference?
Fortunately, Zug is going to get a hit on our thrower there.
That player is
Blitzer
as
is
slippery
gonna
as
get
a needle,
knocked
but
down
not
by
quite as
tackle.
cuddly.
Takes a skillful player to stay up under such a sustained assault.
Does look like our opponent is trying to get to the end zone pretty quick here.
They're gathering around that lone player, like halflings round a sandwich.
That player's a
Thankfully,
little
our
short.
thrower survives
Oh no,
the
my
mighty blow
mistake.
hit.
He's on the ground. That's a natty little move.
He
Still,
does get a
I'm
POW on
willing
our
to bet a
Blitzer
good
as
punch
well.
will have him face down in the mud.
Now his buddy can move freely.
And we're actually in a pretty rough position
I
already.
hope that player has written a will, Bob.
Written? Players can barely speak, Jim, let alone write. You should know. You've interviewed enough of them.
I think we're just going to try to dodge away as many players as we can. Just getting our opponents away if possible.
Ooh, that's very nice.
We went from a pretty nice start to a pretty rough one.
And another try bites the dirt.
That's a good choice for this play.
And he's still standing. This is going to be decisive.
We're actually down another elf already.
Ref's not looking.
Looks
He's
like
not
this game's
looking.
going to be
Get in there!
pretty rough for us. Now, the good news is you only really need one good turn to break away from the dwarves. As they don't really have the speed to keep up with us.
Pass opportunity there. I wouldn't care, but the coach might.
The main problem is being able to actually do that.
What's that player doing, Bob?
They look to be rolling on the ground in agony, Jim. And here comes the other team.
The ideal situation is for Zug to fail a roll
That player is a
of some
visceral
kind,
death machine. And according to the program,
but him having block makes him fairly good. On that note, he isn't showing us Zug's skills. Interesting. Interesting that it didn't show it there. And we're probably going to just take a hit on Zug. Not the best use of our time. But at the moment,
Safety in numbers.
appears like one of our better options. Unfortunately, we actually don't get a knockdown.
Now as free as a fart in a thunderstorm.
So this turn is more or less a flop.
A temerity really worst reward.
Gonna be a rough game on our end. Sadly, it looks like our opponent just kind of gets a blitz per turn, and every turn is a removal.
That ball's starting to look a little tatty.
That's just the
When are they
downside
gonna
of elves
replace it?
sometimes, you know?
I don't know, Bob, and
Oh, look at this!
Looks like that trend might continue for just a bit. Looks like the number difference is already so
the
great
player's on
that
the ground, and it looks like he's
there
about
isn't
to
too
take
much
a
we
cheek.
can do.
5 gold pieces says he gets
Now
kicked
we
in the
do
face
actually
first.
have a 1 dice on the ball. And I think we do take it. It's kind of our only choice at the moment. Now this dodge over here is safer because
It's a solid
it doesn't require a
kill
rush,
the fool carrying the ball, then you stop him from scoring.
or his player doesn't have tackle on that side. We are going to actually take this attempt to a dodge and a rush. Not going to reroll it, however.
A temerity really worst rewarding.
Now, unfortunately, this position we're in is not great in the slightest, but we do have the ball in our hands, so if we can go 1 turn without him knocking it out, then we might be able to just get out of here. As we have a catcher in the corner over here, and Nerves of Steel will make it so that the tackle zones he's in do not matter for the catch. And our opponent is actually going to fail a knockdown.
Oh dear. I hope that player has
So then he
written
uses
the
his
will,
reroll and
Bob.
fixes it.
Written? Players can barely speak, Jim, let alone write. You should know. You've interviewed enough of them.
Thankfully, it looks like he actually
What's that
doesn't
player
get
doing, Bob?
too messed up there.
Look to be rolling on the ground in agony.
And we're gonna
Jim.
see if our opponent
There
actually
comes
gets a
the other
knockdown
team.
on our blitzer. If he doesn't use a tackle piece for it, the odds are actually pretty high that we'll be okay. Now, unfortunately, he does just roll straight into a POW. Now, we're actually going to sidestep and try to get the ball to go out of bounds, because I believe that is our best chance here. Fortunately, it does not go out of bounds. In fact, it goes quite safely into a good spot for our opponent here.
But can they pick it up?
And our opponent actually doesn't get to surf our catcher, as he gets double both downs.
That
That is still a
player went
knockdown
down
because
like
of
a
block.
sack of snottling unmentionables.
Now, he does have normal
That's a
odds to
natty
pick up
move. Still,
ball,
I'm willing to bet a good punch will have him face down in the mud.
and we do get another injury. This time on our blitzer, which is far more of a problem. And if we want to win this game, I think we may want to keep him in. So we're actually going to use the Apothecary. Didn't even give us the option to select the no injury. He just kind of
A loose ball.
did it.
A dangerous ball. The player needs to
And our
secure
opponent
it.
does get the pickup.
Fast.
Question now is he going to score immediately? He does move one space, which makes sense. Now, unfortunately, our best bet is just to do another one dice blitz. It is going to put one of our players in a not great spot. And we are going to just fail the dodge outright. So I believe we just accept this and leave all of our players on the ground.
That day my leaky nose.
If our opponent fouls,
We need
then
to fire the player that can't dodge.
hopefully
or
he
have
gets
him
a send-off.
assassinated. Either solution works.
It does look like he's going to wait till the last possible turn. Which is definitely the right
Player
move.
down and surrounded by the opposing team. This isn't going to be pretty.
He's just going to surround all our elves. Looks like he's going to go for the foul. On our blitzer, no less. He does not get anything out of it. However, he also does not get sent off, which isn't the best for us either way. And we're probably just going to come up here and take our one blitz hit and hope that we remove at least a lineman.
Come on, guys. Together.
Fortunately, we don't even get that, and I am going to save the reroll just on the off chance that we get an extra turn and are able to potentially score. Our opponent is going to just walk the ball in for a touchdown.
I think it's a touchdown.
Looks like our KO'd catcher does not wake up, but one of our players do. And again, it's so odd that the game defaults to not putting your star player back onto the field, even though you had him there to begin with. Definitely an odd choice. Being down 3 players right out of the gate is pretty rough. But I think those are the normal situations elves deal with, so not the end of the world. Now we are going to set up with the hopes that we get the extra turn. However, we are going to realize that those odds are not the most likely to happen. Our best bet is actually going to be go straight through the middle like this, I believe. So let's see if we get that extra turn. He is the Berlin Beer Bowlers.
Players are going to move.
We do actually get the ability to move one space forward. But we don't get the extra turn, however. So it looks like most likely we are
Real bloodfest. That is blood ball.
excuse me? Did it just skip our turn? Did me clicking near the top, even though my turn hadn't started yet, register as my turn ending? Interesting. Well, it looks like we're going to be going into the second half. And our KO did not wake up again. I guess you don't want to... I'm not too sure what happened there. I can only assume that when I clicked toward the top, even though our turn hadn't started yet, it must have counted as me clicking the end turn button. If that is the case, that's not great. And it looks like our opponent is forgetting to put Zug back on the field again.
A really popular team
A pitch
does not get
invasion,
trampled by spectators.
which stuns one of our opponent's players, and the blitzer we were planning on running down the field with has caught the ball, or starting the hit has actually caught the ball. So we now are going to have to free him, which is very unfortunate,
You know, it's very
as
hard
it's
to
going to
get
give our
walk
opponent
retreat. It's one of their greatest strengths.
very easy way to deal with us, it looks like. Now, unfortunately, it looks like we're not actually going to get a knockdown. In fact, oof, whole play has become kind of a mess. And it looks like our plan now is just to run him down the field as far as we can.
Hey, that play looks almost competent.
He's away with the fairies.
He does get an injury there, which
Murderous little beasts.
is very helpful. We're going to lean over to the left here, as they do have a stunned player over here. However, we are in a fairly bad position, I believe. We're actually going to dodge one space up to make our opponent's life a little bit harder, but more than likely he's going to be knocking down our ball carrier. Now, in this position, it doesn't look like he can actually bring in a tackle piece to knock him down. So our odds aren't horrible, but he does get a 2 dice with
message, Bob. Would you like to take a look?
his regular pieces.
Huh? What does ogre on ogre action mean?
Oof, unless he does a rush there. Unfortunately, he doesn't actually get the knockdown. He does reroll and then gets it, however.
Is as slippery as an eel, but not
So
quite as
we
delicate.
will just scatter the ball up toward his side.
Nuffle must be holding him up.
That player's a little short.
And the scatter
Oh,
is
no, mine
horrible.
He's on the ground.
And it appears as though we might just be out of this game.
Now it's
And our
just a
opponent just
simple
makes
matter of
rushes
getting the
left
ball
and
at
right.
their feet. It's never simple.
Now we do still have a slight chance freeing up some elves to do some shenanigans. So we can come up here. We can attempt to scatter the ball in our favor by knocking his tackle piece into it.
A prone player is a dead player. Off turns at any rate.
Now it is not the worst scatter, but we do have a tackle piece on us. So we're going to try to make a very risky dodge here to pick up the ball, I believe. I believe that is just what we're going to be doing. We'll attempt to re-roll this. And it will fail.
Step next time, perhaps.
And unfortunately, it looks like we're probably out of this game. Dealing with so much tackle when the only skills we've picked up has been block or dodge, and then our opponent gets petty cash for it, is fairly rough.
Hey, that play looked almost competent.
Now, I believe I've also played incorrectly. You could play a little bit more back and wait for them to make a gap. But as I've said before, I'm not really a passing team player too much. I'm not entirely sure how to mess with that. Now, eventually, we will see an improvement, I believe.
Have you looked at Facetome?
And
Did you?
Wait, is that... Wait, what? Come on, guys.
our opponent is now out of rerolls as well.
How are they going to catch or run with a ball if they're constantly writhing around on the ground? They're going for the ball, but can they?
And he has not picked up the ball yet. It looks like he is just going to be able to pick it up, though.
You can't argue with that call, can you?
And he's going to start making one dice throws. Now, we do have a fairly easy one dice on the ball. It will scatter into a not great spot for us, but I believe we do just take it. It would be a rush. Should not be ideal. Instead, I believe we're just going to mark the ball by dodging away here and hitting this player.
This player, the attacker, smells weakness.
And I believe we're going to do a one dice block up here to actually get a second person onto the ball. Now, fortunately that doesn't happen, but we do have a block. And other than that, we're going to just dodge away from these dwarves to try to create a little bit more space for our team, I believe. Ooh. And we are just going to not hit on most anything. Going to just bring up... Well, we're going to bring the players down to try to support, if possible. And we're going to bring him over here to try to make sure the opponent doesn't actually get an easy 2 dice on our player there.
They're all over the place.
Now, the dodge is going to fail, but that's fine. They're in horrible spots. We're not really expecting them to be able to dodge out. We'd rather just dodge than just stand them up pointlessly, you know? Now, if our opponent actually does take the hit up here, we could just sidestep and mark the ball. He's going to just knock down our catcher instead first.
How are they going to catch or run with a ball if they're constantly writhing around on the ground?
Looks like he does actually fail to knock down on our blitzer, which leaves one of our players on the ball. Now, the problem is we do not have a good way of getting a 2 dice, but it looks like we can fairly easily get a... We do easily get the 1 dice play. Now, we don't have a reroll for it. And it does not appear as though... Well, we could get a 2 dice, actually. If we blitz this guy away... Yeah, we do actually have a 2 dice play on the ball.
There's only one word to say about this ball.
Not a word, Jim. A sound.
And that will actually scatter the ball, hopefully, into a very ideal spot for us as well. We will get the knockdown, and we will follow this up.
He's now as free as a fart in a thunderstorm.
And the ball is going to scatter beautifully for us. And our opponent does not have tackle on us here, so we are actually probably going to just take the pickup and try to score. I believe that is exactly what we're going to do.
Great movement. Greased balls would struggle
And we get it. All right, so we're still in this game. We have a chance to win, actually.
It's a touchdown.
It looks like our KO'd player still has not woken up. And we are now going to have to put another non-ideal player on the line. We're probably going to put our non-leveled catcher there. We're going to move our outside players in just a little bit, as we'd rather our opponent go toward the outside than just run up the middle. Now, ideally, we do have the chance to steal the ball here again. How likely that is, however, is a little up in the air. I do believe going for the win is still the correct play, however.
Both of these teams are on the edge.
The kick is in a
Crucial.
fairly good spot for our opponent this time.
You can't argue with that call, can you, Bob?
No.
And if we're lucky, he won't actually knock down any of our players. He does remember to put Zug on the pitch this time. Unfortunate for us. Well, not so much that he remembered, but the game forces it since he has a KO'd player.
Move without risk.
One of our line elves gets stunned there. That's not too bad.
Yeah. Smells
And
like a
Zug
good
is
old-fashioned fight.
going to get a 3 dice
I
there.
should probably say something meaningful to all our Cabal Vision viewers.
And it looks
Think
like
of is Splat.
it's just going to be a
It
stun.
reminds me of the famous story of Nurgling and the Great Unclean One. But this time, no miracles.
And block is going to knock our player down there. Now, hopefully, our opponent fails the pickup. That would be incredibly ideal for us. Especially with him already running down the left side here. Does get the blitz on our blitzer
Are
again.
they dancing or fighting?
And are just sidestep back toward our side.
Hey, that play looked almost competent.
And
Well done.
he does succeed the pickup yet again as he runs toward our side here.
The clock's ticking. The final whistle is
Now we
moments
can
away,
get our
and yet the score
sidestep
is
blitzer
in
onto
doubt.
the ball again with very little effort. And we're probably going to take that as that is our main chance of winning here. Unfortunately, it looks like we actually don't exactly get a good shot there. So we are going to just dodge away some players. I believe marking over here. Will be a good chance for our players to not get blocked on his sidestep.
They're all over the place.
And we're going to fail that dodge, but that's perfectly fine. We are already grasping at straws a little bit. Now, it looks like he does not have tackle on that piece, so we are going to be alright for this hit.
Are they dancing or fighting?
Now we have to go down just for the odds of sticking onto the ball. Does give him the tackle blitz,
There's
unfortunately.
only one word to say about this ball.
And he does clear us off the ball, unfortunately.
Hey, that player looks almost competent.
Oh, wait.
And he's going to knock out our blitzer
He's
there
going to
again.
sleep, and maybe we will
And
see
unfortunately,
him
with
on
our
the
lack
picture.
of players, I'm not too sure we can stop him now. He should just be able to cage up really far forward. And again, with our two players on the ground here, he might not actually want to do that. Looks like he is going to bring up those players to cage.
What was your favorite moment as a Blood Bowl player, Bob?
Yeah. Grab a McMurtry's and relax.
He's going to take one dice.
We're gonna be here for quite some time.
Block, the odds are still in his favor there. And in our last attempt to basically do anything, we are going to have to dodge away and try to stick our other blitzer onto the ball.
They're just too fast. Break some legs, please. It's too speedy for my eyes.
Now we do have dodge on this, so it's not bad odds to just dodge away here. We are going to just have to accept this as our best option, I believe. And we are going to roll double skulls.
All your life, but
And he's going to get injured. Oh no, is that a serious injury too? Oh no, it looks like we may have to fire this blitzer. Serious injury. Well, we could keep him around for a bit, but a serious injury is a huge detriment to his career. Getting +1 to all CAS rolls, any kind of hit on him just becomes almost guaranteed removal. Very unfortunate.
you've got so many twerps coming through on Twerper, Bob.
I've known twerps all my life, Jim. I don't see why I gotta take notice of them now.
Oh, that looks painful.
The attacker has an assist. This player, the attacker, smells weakness.
Unfortunately, dealing with this is rough.
Yeah, Smells like a good old-fashioned fight.
Jeremiah Cool always said, superior skills prevail.
They've gone into the opponent's tackle zone. Should be good. He'll get an assist now. Wuss.
This is pretty rough. It looks like we are gonna just get absolutely beat down.
I hope they don't get angry, Jim. We wouldn't like it when they get angry. Joking. You're gonna love them.
I do have a chance for one dice. Sometimes you just gotta make crazy plays as well, you know? Trying to result in the tie is probably our best option, so... we're gonna take those odds. That's also not the most ideal way of doing it, but... looks like we failed going for it. Looks like our opponent is gonna get the win on us. Unfortunately, it looks like our elves are going to be very beat down.
Yum. I've got my McMurdy squig burger and my XXXL size cheese shake.
Now, with a serious injury on our blitzer, we do seriously have to consider whether or not we are going to keep him or whether we should just start working on a new one.
The player's on the ground, and it looks like he's about to
Either way, we are most likely going to have to play a game without
5
one.
gold pieces says he gets kicked in the face first.
Our opponent rolls the double skulls.
Whoops! Down they go!
Unfortunately, I don't believe we have any players that can actually reach the opponents. We do actually have a chance to knock it out of his hands. Not the best odds I've ever seen, but it's not the worst, so we're going to take them. And we get almost all of it, but then fail at the end. Oh, our opponent played very well. He gets the win. Sometimes elves just die, and that's what you got to deal with. Now, like I said earlier, I definitely played wrong. I think it's better to just abuse your speed. I'm just not the best at doing it, so that is something I'm going to have to learn. That's why we're trying with the elf team, you know. Wanted to just take it slow and learn step by step. Now, we do have to... this player down here is definitely going to have to go. Being -1 armor as an already squishy player is not going to happen. We do have to consider whether we are going to keep our blitzer here. Now, it is only to the casualty rolls, so the armor has to break first. He does already have 11 SPP, which is a shame, really, because we really don't want to have to give up this piece. We were going to save up and try to get him guard, which would help a lot in that game right there, especially. But I'm not too sure if we're going to keep them serious injury. I believe maybe we should. The blitzers are fairly easy to level, so starting over would not be the end of the world. We are going to be missing one game with him. We do have enough money to get another blitzer going right now. Really rough. Having the serious injury is just such a detriment. But him already being at 2 levels, he's very useful for the team. I believe... Dang. Getting him guard was what I was thinking of doing. As I don't believe you need Mighty Blow on the elf team. Just need to get a few key knockdowns and then run away with the ball. The other option was to give him Strip Ball and just kind of cage dive. And... I'm not sure. I'm leaning toward firing him. In fact, I'm going to just do that. Yeah. If he had 2 skills already, then I wouldn't. But well, if he had 2 skills done and working on a 3rd. But since he only had dodge and is just about to get his 2nd skill, we're actually just going to hire another blitzer. And we're going to work on getting this blitzer up. Now, of course, that earlier APO, where we saved our blitzer the first time, comes into question now because we lost our other blitzer for that. I do believe to even have a chance of winning that game, that was the right call. Fortunately, we did not win, so in hindsight, you know. But that'll be that game. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next episode.